You're looking for a fresh socket?
Mr.
Socket. You can call me Mr. Socket. And you are?
Well, I'm Len. Can't you tell?
That's a cute tail you got there, man.
Really? Hey, so where are we?
Well, we're here at the Sathya World Youth Festival in Prasanthi, Nilayam in southern India, home of Sri Sathya.
Holy moly, how did I end up here? Well, no wonder I can't find a decent power outlet. Hey, so can you help me plug in? It's been so long, just for a second.
Whoa, easy there, fella.
Dude, what's the matter? I thought you said you were going to help me.
I am, but not that way. I'm going to help you to understand.
Understand what? My leg is off. I've been starved of power for years. You have a socket that I can plug into. Your name is Mr. Socket, for crying out loud. What more is there to understand?
Relax, man. I'm going to show you how you can plug in. Anytime, anywhere. No sockets, no cords required.
Listen, you seem like a nice guy and all, but did you fail out of school or something? What you just said violates like all the rules of physics.
Yeah, I know. Listen, man. Together, we're going to help you plug into the source.
The source? You mean there's like a special power socket or something that lives inside of me? I feel like that would get a bit itchy, don't you think?
Stop thinking about physics class for a second. There's more to life than power sockets and cords.
Okay, so enlighten me then. What is the source?
Okay, so the source. How do I explain the source? Okay, so the source is all around us. It's both omnipresent and omniscient. And it's the same for everyone. It may be called different things, but essentially, there's one source. Now, from time to time, the source takes on a human form to uplift mankind and show them the way to the source. And in this era, the source took birth as Sri Sathya Sai Baba.
Omnipresent source? Sathya Sai Baba?
I realize this is a lot to take in, but it will all make sense soon, I promise. Luckily, there's a show that's just about to air that talks more about the source, Sathya Sai Baba. Come on, let's watch.
Dear brothers and sisters, welcome to the Story of the Source, the game show where we tell you the story of Swami. And you, dear brothers and sisters, you have an opportunity to realize your own potential and plug into the source. Lakshman, this crowd looks so excited and energetic. Why don't we jump right into the rules?
Sure. You present your answer. And the way to present your answer, here it is.
So, we hope you all have your fans with you. If you think that the answer is option number 1, show us the purple side of the fan towards the stage. If you think that the answer is option 2, show us the red side. Option 3, raise your hand. And option 4, we're going to ask you all to stand up. Okay? Don't worry if you didn't get that. We'll remind you throughout the game.
Yes, and you continue to play the game as long as you get your answers correct. But if you make a mistake, it gets really interesting. Swami's grace, all of us are given one lifetime, just one lifetime. What does it mean? The first mistake you make, you're okay, you still continue with the game. But the second mistake, in the true spirit of sportsmanship, we request you to sit back, but still cheer on your brothers and sisters for playing the game. Okay? And finally, who is the scorer? or who is the judge, if you're wondering. It is an honor system, which means you are your own judge, and we really trust that you play the game honestly. And by the way, you all know that Swami is here, and he'll be watching us, right?
You, or is it C? Me. Alright? So we're going to answer all at the same time? Ooh, okay. Alright. So for future questions, we're all going to answer at the same time. So we'll wait for that timer to run out, okay? But no, great job, all of you.
The story starts now. On to question 1. Community and the Sai organization. A. Swami performed his very first miracle. B. Swami announced that he was Sai Baba. And C. Swami started the Sathya Sai organization. And your time starts now.
Lashman, so many eager viewers. So, remember everyone, we're going to put our hands or our flags up at the same time, okay? So when that timer runs out. So, our answer is B. Swami announced that he was Sai Baba. Good job. Tell us a little bit more about what happened that day.
Sure. It was like any other day when little Sathya left for school with his pack of books. But he returned back, threw his books on the floor and he declared, "I'm no longer your Sathya, I'm Sai. My devotees are calling and I'm going." Having said that, he walked out into a nearby garden, sat on a rock, and a few devotees gathered around him. That was the moment when the avatar of the sage, the Sri Sathya Sai avatar, revealed himself with the first message to the mankind. Manas Bhajare Guru Charanam. Now, thinking about it, Swami was just 14 years old. Can you imagine 14 years old? Like most of us are like in our 9th grade or 10th grade. And yet, he had a clear vision in mind. He exactly knew what his purpose in life is. And he had that courage and confidence to break free of all his worldly attachments, to go after his purpose in life and serve the humanity henceforth. What started on a rock 75 years ago has come to all this. Well, I can keep going, but I think we should move on.
Okay, that sounds good. So, if you did make a mistake, it's time to use that lifeline to get right back into the game. We can't have you wait and then jump in on the last question. So, I'm sure many of you have heard this at least maybe once or twice. This is Swami's first budget and his first message, Manasa Bhajare. Intelligent youth, let me ask you, what is the meaning of Manasa Bhajare, Guru Charana, Dustara Baba Sagara Tarana? Is it A. Oh my, without worshipping the lotus feet of the Guru, it is not possible to cross the ocean of life and death? Is it B. I pray to Sai, who is the only God, to shower his blessings upon my soul? Or is it C, all of the above? Your time starts right now. Wait.
Okay, show your answers in 3, 2, 1, out. Awesome, yes. Answer please. Yes, the answer is A. Oh fine. Without worshipping the lotus feet of Guru, it is not possible to cross the ocean of life and death. But Ramanan, I have a question here. What does it really mean to worship the lotus feet of Guru?
Well, Lakshman, I don't think it's as literal as the translation might suggest. When we worship, we want to appreciate and embody the qualities that we admire in another person. So, when Swami says that we should worship the lotus feet of our Guru, it's like saying that we should embody their teachings. In Swami's case, we need to make his life our message.
Our life is
And it's also very important to understand the meaning. So many times we get swept up in the amazing emotion and the divine sound. But the meanings like these are found in every budget, and it's really important that we heed to that. And also, Swami has also said that it's important to clap as well. So we want to leave you with this quote. The noisy prose of desires and hatred flocking to your minds can be driven out by the loud clapping of hands. Just something to think about.
Yes. On to the next question. Question 3. What happened at the Virupaksha temple in October 1940 when Bhagavan visited with his brother Sri Seshamaraj? A. Swami appeared at 2 places at the same time. B. Hanuman statue came to life and started going around Swami. And C. Swami endlessly materialized vibhuti for all the people. And your time starts now.
Well, I see a lot of red in the crowd, but the answer is A. Swami appeared at 2 places at the same time. So, Lakshman, I think you could explain this, but I think our expert can explain it a little better.
No one? Really? That's pretty impressive. Yes, the truth is, this photo is materialized by Swami himself. And it's a reminder to all of us to see Swami in all. Once we start seeing Swami in everyone we speak to, or everyone we think about, or everyone we serve, how easy it becomes to practice the unity of thought, word, and deed. Well, let's move on to the next question.
Okay. Question 4. What was Swami's favorite food? Was it A, idli with chutney, B, ragi or millet rice with dal, or C, rice and curry with fruit?
Three, 2, 1, time's up. Awesome. Yes, it's B, ragi or millet rice. But Ramanan, what is so special about ragi?
Well, Lakshman, ragi or millet rice is probably one of the healthiest foods that we can consume. It has over 80 different nutrients. Wow, it's kind of like a super cereal, if you will. And Swami has said a lot about food. One of them is eating healthy, which ragi is a great example of. And he's also said about eating in moderation. Swami maintained an average weight of 108 pounds throughout his entire adult life. So, 108. Coincidence? We'll leave that to you to decide. And lastly, Swami also says to focus on the task that you're doing, particularly when it comes to eating. How many times are we watching TV, talking on the phone, or even just talking in general, and not focusing on the task that we're doing? Why does Swami say all this, particularly to the youth? Because he wants his youth to be healthy and fit for service at any time.
Okay, looks like no more TV for me at dinner. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question 5. At the age of 20, Swami wrote a letter to his brother regarding which of the following topics? A. Promising that he will stay in Puttaparthi forever. B. Announcing his mission. And C. Revealing that he is divinity in human form. And your time starts now.
Don't change your answer because you see somebody else with something different. And so the answer is B. Swami announced his mission to his brother. But Lakshman, it doesn't seem like something Swami would do to just suddenly send a letter like that.
Well, good point. It was 6 years after Swami declared his avatarhood. His brother, who was already disappointed that Swami dropped out of school, now was really concerned that Swami was getting a lot of attention in press. So he wrote a letter to Swami conveying his anxiety. Swami wrote a reply, supposedly to be his brother, but in fact, it is a prophetic message to all of us, to the entire mankind. He laid out his mission in simple terms. Swami declared, I have a task to foster all mankind and fill people's lives with ananda, bliss. I have a vow to to lead all who stray away from the straight path into goodness again and save them. I am attached to a work that I love, to remove the suffering of the poor and grant them what they lack. I have a reason to be proud, for I rescue all who worship and adore me. I have a definition of devotion. I expect that those devoted to me treat joy and grief, gain and loss with equal fortitude. And finally, for all of us, he said, I'll never give up those who attach themselves to me.
But Lakshman, Swami may have said that, and it's a beautiful thought, but it's just so hard to completely attach yourself to God, especially in a time like this where there's just so many distractions.
Sure. In fact, Swami had an answer for that too. He actually started the letter saying, only a fruit-laden tree is the one that receives the shower of stones from the passers-by. It is only the good that provoke the bad into calumny. It is the nature of this world. In spite of all the peer pressures or social pressures we have, be it at work, at school, with friends, social circles, etc., Swami says, just follow your own resolution, your own wisdom. Follow the inner master, and he'll take care of it. He'll never give up. And as Swami often said, why fear when I am here? And he's always within us.
Okay, so we're just past the halfway point. How's everybody doing? A lot of people still in the game? Hands up? Still in it? Ooh. Seems like a lot of people made a couple of mistakes, but all right. Question 6. Prasanthi Nilayam was built and inaugurated in November 23rd of 1950. But why was it built? Was it A, to accommodate the increasing number of devotees? B, because Mother Ishwaramba asked Swami build it? Or C, to primarily serve as Swami's new residence?
And time's up. Good, I see some reds and some blues. So, what is the answer? It is A, the blue side, to accommodate the increasing number of devotees.
And so although Mother Ishwaramba may not have asked Swami to build a bigger ashram, she did ask how he planned to fill the entire thing. Little did she know that Prasanthi Nilayam would have to be expanded multiple times to accommodate all the devotees that would flock in from all over the world to see Swami. And beyond that, there's an interesting story about the granite blocks that you'll find in Kulwant Hall, Purnachandra, and many of the buildings around here. When the devotees wanted to build the extension, they told Swami, Swami, we want to use granite, but there's not much in this area. So Swami said, okay, and he's all-knowing. So he said, okay, go to this hill and you'll find it there. So they're like, okay, but Swami, how will we get it out? We're going to need some sort of explosives. So Swami thought for a moment, just a moment, and said, okay, go there in the morning. I'll take care of the rest. So the workers went there the next morning, and that night, there was a single flash of lightning. And when the workers got there in the morning, they found that it had struck that exact spot, and the blocks were broken up into pieces they could bring back. Pretty cool, right? But it gets better, because when they were bringing the blocks home, many of the devotees were like, hey, where'd you find this granite? And when the workers explained to them, the devotees said, that's unbelievable, because that's the exact same spot that they used to sit with Swami and sing bhajans. So in a way, Swami has actually consecrated all these buildings, from Purnachandra Hall to Sai Kulwant Hall to the residences that we sleep in. It's just another addition to the divine energy that flows through Prasanthi. And oh yeah, Swami would never ask for a bigger residence. Swami lived in the same 8x10 residence for 43 years. It was only in 2006 when he finally moved into the Yajur Mandir.
Moving on to question 7. Over the years, Swami conducted Vedic rituals for world peace. What does Swami say about the Vedas? A. Listening to the recitation of the Vedas is itself capable of purifying your mind, the blue side. B. The Vedas declare that we should live and work together and achieve noble goals with unity, the red side. see, the Vedas are the gift of God for the welfare of the entire humanity and can be chanted by one and all. Raise your hand. And D, all the above, stand up. And your time starts now.
Okay, and your time is up. And congratulations to all those of you who are standing. The answer is all of the above. Thank you. You may be seated.
So as part of his avataric promise, Swami started showing keen interest in the revival of the Vedas and the Vedic rituals. So as part of that, he instituted an academy of Vedic scholars who were initially very skeptical about his scholarly knowledge. But eventually, they accepted him as the very personification of the Vedas. And he was just 35 years old then. So thus started in 1962, the Veda Purusha Saptaha Yajna, or the fire sacrifice for world peace, which happens for 7 days. And it continues to happen during every Dashara festival. Or be it the Atirudra Mahayajnam. This marked a major milestone in Bhagavan's mission. It had as significant and as far-reaching effects as any of the socio-care or educare or the medical projects. And Swami continued to say that it is my wish that the Vedas be spread to every country and every human being, regardless of religion, caste, nationality, gender, learns the Vedas and chants them. And it's just not mere chanting, but chanting with the right spirit. As the word looks, any ritual, be it chanting or the yajnam or anything, done with the right spirit becomes a true spiritual offering. And in this case, the real spirit, as Swami says, behind doing the yajna is to offer the results of every action to God. And the real spirit behind the Vedas is to see God in all.
Right, Lakshman. And the best way to see God in all is through selfless service, just like Swami has said. Which, I might add, is a great segue into our next question. Question number 8. The Sri Sathya Sai General Hospital was inaugurated when Swami was only 29 years old. How many healthcare facilities currently exist as part of the Sathya Sai Central Trust in India? Is it A, 11, B, 5, or C, 9?
Okay, answers in 3, 2, 1. See some red, some blues, and no hands up. Maybe some hands up. Okay, what is the answer? It is B, 5.
And so, as many of you know, this was one of Mother Ishwaramba's requests to Swami. She requested the hospital because there was many people in Puttaparthi and the surrounding areas who were suffering without proper health care. And even though Swami had broken free of such worldly bonds, he still respected his mother's wishes, something that we can all learn from. And again, Swami was only 29 years old. For those of us who are still younger, there's still a chance for us to get a hospital built. And for those of us who are older, step your game up. Also, what started as a general hospital with only 6 beds expanded to 94 over time and has served over 4 million people. And it's not just the one institution. There's now a mobile hospital, 2 general hospitals, and 2 super specialty hospitals. And there's like hundreds of mobile clinics all over the world.
That's right. All right, to the final question. How many of you are still in the game? Nice, good. Final question. For 26 consecutive years, Bhagavan had penned a number of articles which were compiled in a series of books. What is the name of the series? A, the Sathya Sai Speaks series. B, the Vahini series. Or C, the Satyam Shivam Sundaram series. And your time starts now.
So the answer is B, the Vahini series.
Wow, good job. Soon after the Prasanthi Mandir was inaugurated, Swami actually started the monthly magazine in the ashram called Sanatana Sarathi, which means the eternal charioteer. And perhaps Swami was the only author who had contributed to this magazine for 26 consecutive years, every single month. He had written on several topics like devotion, meditation, wisdom, or dharma or household duties, or even he narrated the story of Lord Rama as was living there. And later on, Professor Kasturi brought out these articles in a book form, now called the Vahinis, and we have 15 of them. Now, Professor Kasturi had a lot of experiences to share during this time, and this is one such incident. Swami often used to tease Professor Kasturi by not submitting his article until the very last minute. But often, Swami used to present with a masterpiece which would simply blow him off. And this was one such instance where Swami had to provide the article right then, since the article was going to press. The Lord, with a wave of his hand, he actually materialized the article and presented it. Swami, who could actually materialize anything at will, chose to write and spend countless hours writing these articles every other time, and showed us that there is no substitute to hard work.
So, if you don't mind me asking, show of hands, how many of you have actually read at least one of the Vahinis? Okay, that's a pretty good number. So, I just want to re-emphasize one more time the value of the Vahinis. When Lord Rama or Lord Krishna came to earth, the great sages had to document what their stories were. But in our time, we are so blessed to have our avatar take the time to write down his message by his own hand. Brothers and sisters, we are literally reading messages from the hand of God. That's pretty special. And if you're anybody like me who hasn't gotten around to reading them yet, you can get the entire set at the bookstore for only 685 rupees. Good deal.
That's a pretty good deal. And to top it all, this is what Professor Kasturi had to say about the Vahinis. May this book reveal to you the mother's love which has made Baba write it, the father's authority which backs every junction therein, the teacher's illumination that lights up every statement, and the Lord's sublime universality that invites you to expand your personality into a great instrument of service.
Okay, and so with that, we are done. Can I please have everybody who has made it this entire time to please stand up? Who made it to the game? All right, everybody, let's give these incredible people a huge round of applause.
Awesome.
Great job, brothers and sisters. You're truly connected to the source. We just want to leave you with one closing thought.
Congratulations again. He was born to a poor family in a poor village which was said to be 10 minutes from Stone Age, and he didn't even have a high school degree. Yet, God on earth never forgotten any of his promises, be it fostering the mankind with his countless darshans and interviews, be it putting all of us in the right path with his discourses and vahinis, or be it alleviating the suffering of the poor by all the Medicare and the social care projects. Swami in 1940, when he actually declared his avatarhood, how much money did he have? How could he do all this? Well, Bhagavan actually tapped the infinite power within him, the power of, and in fact he had shown us how to live a life where love is always and in all ways his motivation and source.
And so, meditate on the Guru's feet and see God in all. And don't forget to plug into the source within. Thank you.
Jai Sai Ram.